Hello chums, so day 4 I guess of this new layout build, and as you can see the left hand board is basically complete as far as carpentry goes. I haven't got any alignment dowels or anything, so it's not perfectly aligned with the throat board, but it's pretty good, it's pretty square, and I'm really pleased at how I managed to get the viaduct to continue across. I think this might be resting on something. I think there's something underneath there that's causing it to rise up rather than any problem, but as you can see this is a pretty smooth line across, and yeah, it runs out. I've made these cutouts again, so this is where there's nothing underneath, so this could go all the way. This could be a passenger or road tunnel underneath there, and same for here and this little section here. I've seen a wonderful little cameo of a tiny little door set into a big building, which was the entrance to Snow Hill station. Not Birmingham Snow Hill, London Snow Hill. And I thought that might be a fun little thing to include just there. While the viaduct comes very close to the front of the layout, as you can see here, I don't know how realistic it is to include recessed sections there. I think it probably might be more practical to just have a solid wall, or at least filled in arches, but I've included it there anyway, and it doesn't really hurt anything. This viaduct is also removable. It's a little larger than the throat thing, so it's a little bit more clumsy, but it's got the same. Try and lift it. Yeah, it's got the same framework underneath, arranged slightly differently. It's got a long support piece at the back because I don't want to put in a whole skin at the back. And cross members here, which put it into the right place. There we go. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with the way that's come. That didn't take too long. I think both of these together realistically probably took about 6 hours to do, I guess, including the top boards. A lot of that time was also spent planning and thinking about how I'm going to proceed. So that actually brings me to my next point. So here is the station throat point work. It's only very gently laid on there in paper. It's not stuck down or anything. And as you can see, we've got one row to the left. So let's call that platform 1, and platform 2, platform 3 here. And then this section here, as you can see, hopefully, from the pencil lines, and there's another point here and it divides again. And the original plan was to have this middle section as a pilot siding. A pilot loco is a locomotive which sits just in the station. It doesn't go anywhere else, and it just handles the traffic, coaches to and from platforms, remarshalling them and so on. So I've seen many examples where the end of a platform will finish, and there'll be a set of buffers at the end of the platform, and then there'll be a tiny little spur of track going towards the end of the platform. And that's what I was planning to include there. But I've seen a really wonderful example at Holborn Viaduct, where in fact there is a tiny little Victorian engine shed right off into one corner. And it seems a little ridiculous, but Holborn Viaduct itself is a pretty rich place for inspiration. So I'm thinking it would be a great way for me to cover this section here. So I'll have the engine shed and water tower coming across this section here, and it will just slot in when the layout's in place, and that will hide this gap, so hide this this bracing here, and I think that would be a really effective way to bridge that section across. It doesn't require many changes. In fact, you may see, hopefully, here there's a pencil line that goes from this section here, goes across, and that was the original line of the front of the layout, and it went in a very shallow angle all the way across. I decided by changing these two around, which I still haven't settled on perfectly, but to have that option, the rest of the layout needs to kink slightly forward a little earlier to give clearance. This rearmost layout, the rearmost track needs to go as far away as possible, and then the adjacent track that was going to be the pilot side needs to curve back fairly quickly. So what I've done here is I've kept the same angle, rather than breaking the angle and going more shallow quickly. I've kept the same angle almost all the way to the baseboard edge, and then I've gone extremely shallow. So this will be almost a second fascia although it'll be brick or arches or something. But it will allow the station to kink more towards the viewer, and allow some space at the back. It will only, it's still not too much. I think it's going to be a very tight fit around there, and the rearmost track is only, I think it's something like, over here, I think it's about 6 inches away from the back. I can't remember correctly. I think it's about 6 inches, and it comes right up close to here. So the angle is still pretty shallow, but this will allow me to have over here an overall chain shed coming about halfway up, and then some canopies, and the back here will be a big railway, the back of a big railway hotel, and then some retaining walls here, and the back of more buildings. I was hoping to include a bridge scene across here, but the more I think about it, the more it needs to be a very low, small, low-key section, maybe almost a cobbled alley going underneath. And I'm gonna, over here, there will be a 90-degree turn for the fiddle yard, which will fit here. So in this section, it's going to be almost all plain track. So I'm going to have a really nice elevated bridge section, like a big. The bridge itself will be curved, but it will hail back to the bridge around Ludgate Hill in front of St Paul's Cathedral. So have a painting of a church or something behind to notionally represent St Paul's, and have this bridge section here. So this is probably going to be more shops and archways, workshops, roads passing through at the front here. But yeah, I'm super pleased. These two Tim Horn baseboards and another one I purchased some time ago, I'm really glad I got some use out of them. So I guess the next thing is going to be to get some track, I guess, and get laying. So I'll see you next time.